Hi there, welcome to my video on how to use the H5P summary lesson and content type in your online course. If you are new to my video, I'd recommend you check out my video up here where you can get an overview of the H5P tools and sort of how it is advantageous to building an online course. What I love about H5P is that there's so many different lesson and content types that you can use to make your course more interactive, more exciting, and also a little bit more experiential for your students, because online courses tend to be very traditionally very dry and very much what we call death by PowerPoint. And so we really want to jazz up our online course and really make an experience that is really rewarding, fun, and really exciting to really show the opportunities and benefits of online learning. So with that said, I'm going to give some use cases for H5P summary lesson type, talk about which kinds of cases and examples of courses that could benefit from it, what I like about this kind of lesson type in terms of a knowledge check, and then last but not least, I'll give you a quick demo of this lesson activity content type. So let's get started. The summary lesson type in H5P is a little bit different than the other choices in terms of video, adding graphics or quizzes. It's more kind of like a kind of gut check, I like to say. Knowledge check is used often in the industry, but I like to say it is like a gut check for students. The reason why I say it's a gut check for students is that the summary content lesson type really provides a set of statements. They like to describe it as tasks, but I can describe it also as statements that you provide to the students and then have them guess, quote unquote guess, or decide which one is the accurate statement. And so you can make it a task, but I also like to think of it as just sort of checking for basics and checking for fundamentals before a student is ready to tackle on the more advanced lessons in your online course. So with that said, let me talk about some use cases that I think might be helpful and to using this summary content lesson type. Let's say you are teaching a subject such as biology or chemistry or even computer programming. So if you are teaching biology and you want to determine whether students get the basics of cellular functions or cellular functions, or what types of cells are essential to the respiratory, or I'm just making this up, I'm just guessing. But if you were to determine whether students really understand which areas and which cells are essential to respiratory function, and then you could create this kind of summary lesson as a way to determine whether students get the basics before they're ready to kind of diagnose what's wrong with a patient. The same thing goes with chemistry. Before students are ready to go into a lab, you want to give them the chance to master the basics of the different periodic table elements to understand how these different elements interact with each other before you actually put them together. So, for example, if you are talking in biology, you're teaching a biology online. You could say in these statements, let's take a look, you can offer these kinds of statements where you can say, the liver is one of the most essential functions to respiratory health. The mitochondria is essential to respiratory health. Or the answer is none of the above. So it's kind of like a kind of multiple choice, but in a statement form. Similarly, if you are teaching chemistry, you could say, what the salt initial, which is salt compound in the periodic table, which is Ne or whatever it is a base element in most mixtures of chemical treatment. And so you could say the salt is not the salt functions as a base, or the salt does not serve as the base agent. So those are just kind of some examples of how you can challenge your students to think a little bit more about the concepts in a different way as a task and as a statement before they're ready to dive into any hands-on and application portion of the course. So let's just use my figure drawing example to show you the advantages of this activity. So as you can see here, I've kind of started it, and I just want to give you a little bit of an example so that this video isn't too long. But basically, you'll want to go into H5P and then click on Add Content, and then search for summary. You can type in always summary, and then you can see it shows up, and then it'll give you some details, and it'll give you an example of how they use it. And then if you like it, you can click on use and then start building it. And I'll just show you the way I built it here. So I created the title, and then the one thing I would say is, like, they keep this as the intro text to the exercise. And what you can do is kind of customize this as read the following statements and choose the accurate statement. The reason why I customize this is because I want to make it a little bit more personal, a little bit more tailored, rather than the cookie cutter, just please choose the following statement. And then I'm going to type in some statements here. And then just the way H5P knows which one is the right answer is the first one will always be the right answer here. So you don't need to designate it with an asterisk or anything. The first answer will always be, they will know that this is the accurate statement, and then they'll shuffle it around when you actually take the course. And then so they give you a set of blocks that you can add these statements, and you can add as many as you want, but you don't want to add too many because you don't want to confuse and overwhelm your learner. So you can add a set here, and then you can add more, and you can also add more set of statements here, because the difference here is that this is one set, and so the student will pick one from these sets of this set of three, and it'll automatically tell them that this is either right or wrong. And then if you have, let's just say, two sets of statements that you want to sort of assess how students are progressing and doing, you can create more here. I'm just going to throw in some more text, dummy text here. And then just so you know that you can change the feedback range to say great job. It is distributed evenly unless you define the range, like a curve of 0 to 50 is a B and 51 to 100 is an A. So that's just as an example. So now that that looks good, let me just click on save. And so now if I'm a student, I'm going to just like decide what I think is the right answer. And if that's not right, that's not right. That's not right. Then let's keep clicking, oh, I found the right answer. And then now the next set of statements are showing up here. And so I'll just pick one, and that one's not correct. That one is the correct answer, and great. I did not do very well on this second set of statements and or tasks. So that's just a quick overview of how you can use the summary content lesson type. If you have any questions, leave me a comment, give me some feedback, questions, give this video a like, subscribe, and let me know how I can help you. Thank you for watching.